Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Treasure Trove Tarot, also known here on YouTube as Mystic Moon. Welcome to my second channel and welcome to your Archangel reading. So we are going into 4 different Archangels with different sets of messages. So just go ahead and take what resonates for you and get rid of anything that doesn't. All the decks I'll be using here today will be listed down below. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to focus on Archangel Michael first. And so as you can see with Archangel Michael, the keyword is a divine protection. And it says Archangel Michael is shielding and protecting you with his light. So basically we're going to see how is Archangel Michael showing up in your life, the viewer. Okay, let's see what we need to know here about these messages. So we're going to go ahead and go into this deck here, which is called the Ascended Masters. So in what way is Archangel Michael showing up in your life? How is Archangel Michael shielding and protecting you? Ooh, we have priorities. I love this. So basically when it comes to prioritizing, so a lot of times what we'll do is we will start prioritizing maybe things or people over other things that really are important to us. And so Archangel Michael can work with us in many different ways. Sometimes people's rejection is for our divine protection. So let's just say you're putting way too much emphasis or way too much focus on someone and they start pulling away from your life, or maybe they even reject you. This could be Archangel Michael's way of stepping in and saying, you know what? You're losing yourself in this situation. This situation isn't right for you. This situation doesn't align with your priorities. So let me go ahead and steer things into another direction. Now, it's not taking away free will or anything like that, but we are basically being influenced in a way that is for our highest good. I love that message. So let's see how else Archangel Michael is showing up for us at this time. Oh my gosh, you guys, a 7 of fire. So this is, first of all, the 7 of Wands is a card where somebody is like pushing back and saying no. So that's what I'm seeing here, is that there's this real resistant energy. Let's just say we're going towards something. We want it. We're focused on it. Yes, this is what I want. But it's actually not right for you. This is, in a way, spirit and the energy pushing back and saying, putting their shield up, putting their guard up. So someone says no. Somebody says, I'm not interested. Something doesn't work out. It's all for your divine protection, you guys. It's happening to protect you because it's not right for you. That's what I'm seeing here. And then we have the 2 of air, especially with things that you're stuck in. So let's just say you're like not sure if you should go here or not sure that you should go there. I feel like it's actually being made abundantly clear for you. There's nothing to actually be confused about. It might be that some of us are saying, well, I just want to know if someone's interested in me, but yet their actions are showing you that they're not interested in you at all because they're not invested in you. They're not returning your call. As a matter of fact, they're not even pursuing you. There's nothing to be confused about. You have all the answers that you need. It's not happening for a reason because it might be that it's not for you. It's not the best thing for you. So Spirit is basically saying here that we need to pay attention to these subtle energies. We are always being protected for what is best for us. But are we listening? Are we paying attention? Are we trying to fight against that? Right? So let's see what else. And we have the 8 of water, 8 of cups. So yeah, this right here is talking about things that no longer serve us. So it might be that we're trying to fight against the inevitable. We're trying to fight to make something work, but it doesn't align with what we're looking for or what we actually want or what's good for us. So Archangel Michael is coming through and saying, look, this is not something that you should be doing. It's not something that you should be wasting any more of your time in. It's time for you to go into another direction. Are you listening, or are you just trying to avoid? Because that's what this card says. It says indecision, avoidance, and confusion. Sometimes we'll act like we're confused, but we're not. Sometimes we'll pray for an answer, but it's not the answer that we wanted. So we pretend that we just actually don't know, we're confused. When really what it is, we're just avoiding the inevitable, which is, I've already been given the answer. This isn't right for me. This isn't going to work out, but yet I don't want to accept it. So that's a little bit of a tough love message from Archangel Michael, but that's how he rolls. He's very strong. He's very much in your face to say, you need to get your shit together and stop wasting time. Let's get your priorities straight and stop wasting time on things and situations that aren't serving you. Let's walk away instead towards a new direction of things that are for you. So the Two of Swords can also be deliberately wasting time. And so that's what we're doing. We're fighting against what is actually true for us. And sometimes the answer is not what we want, but it's an answer nonetheless. And Michael is saying, it's time to face something, even if it's challenging, even if it hurts, even if the answer totally sucks. But you got to listen, because if you don't, you're going to continue to fight against something that just isn't flowing here. So that's kind of a little bit of a tough love message, but that is what we are getting here from Archangel Michael. So just take it if it resonates, you guys. Okay, now we're going to shift into Archangel Chamuel, which is opening your heart and allowing you to love more deeply. So if you are looking for love, if you're looking for maybe romance, you're looking for, just true companionship, somebody to spend your life with, there is some sort of a message here about this. So let's see what the message is from Archangel Chamuel when it comes to love, or love in the form of other people. Interesting, we have mediumship. So immediately what I'm getting, you guys, is that some of you that have lost someone, so they're no longer here on the earth, they're on the other side, they're actually coming through with a message here. That doesn't happen all the time in my readings, but that's what's happening here. A departed loved one is coming through this reading and communicating with you, and they're basically wanting you to open up your heart. They're wanting you to either love again, or they are here to guide you to some sort of ultimate relationship, something that you guys are looking for. So it's a really beautiful message right off the bat. So let's go ahead and get some details on that. I'm getting here that if this is a situation where this is, like an ex-partner, a romantic partner, they're telling you that they want you to open up your heart to love again. So, wow, Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a beautiful card because it is about building a foundation and building a relationship and having commitment and joy in a relationship in this lifetime. So even if this is not someone that's, that you've had a relationship with in the past, that's saying, I want you to love again. I want you to move forward here while you're still here on this earth. Regardless, this spirit guide wants you to find the correct relationship for you, and a relationship that's solid, a relationship where there's commitment, and where you're going to experience happiness and joy, because you guys deserve that. So whatever is standing in your way of bringing this connection into your life, and that might be why Archangel Michael was kind of coming through with that tough love message. If that means you've got to pull yourself out of a stuck situation, or you've got to pull yourself out of a situation that's just not working or serving you, then that's why that card's coming through. So now we have Archangel Michael coming in, because I was just talking about him, and here he is again. Okay? And it's saying here, your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome that you desire, which I know is this. It's to have a happy, loving connection and relationship. Release feelings of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels. So if you guys have some sort of anxiety where you're up at night, or you're in a state of stress, or you're just, just in a nightmare situation where you're in your head about something, obsessively thinking about a problem or a person or a situation, it doesn't mean just release your worries to the angels and they'll take care of everything, but be willing to open yourself up to the messages that they have to bring for you. And I do feel like Archangel Michael, if you guys have been working with him, or just your guardian angels, and you've asked for a sign, you've asked for guidance, I feel like the message here today is you've gotten the answer, but are you applying it? Are you listening? I feel like some of you guys might not be listening. You guys are still closing yourselves off because of some other situation. And Spirit's saying we've got to find a way to release that. We've got to find a way to close that old chapter and walk through that new door. Yeah, so we can plant a new seed, the Ace of Pentacles. So we can start experiencing something in the real world. So I almost feel like somebody is in their head about a situation, but there's not really a lot happening in the 3D world or in reality. So we've got to kind of pull ourselves out of thinking, like thought-based energy, and really focus more in the material, physical world, a place where we can actually experience life, a place where we can actually build something and grow something. We can't have a relationship in our head. Sometimes relationships can be one-sided in our head space, and we need to move more towards the earthly plane and actually build a life with someone. So if some of you guys are tired of pretend relationships in your head, or thinking about someone, but yet there's no proof that they're actually thinking about you back, or that they are showing any indication in real life that they want to be with you, Spirit's saying it might be time for you to, kind of pull away from that energy of thinking about someone and really put yourself into a position of having real life interactions with people. And that's where you're really going to open yourself up to new either relationships or, avenues to fall in love and to experience love in this lifetime. So anyways, that's what we have so far. So let's now move on into the angel of Archangel Raphael, which is the angel that is assisting you in healing your mind, your body, and your spirit. So let's see what this angel has to say. What does Archangel Raphael want to tell you about your healing of your mind, body, and spirit? Okay, interesting. So this earth energy, you guys, I do feel like it has something to do with, remember the Nine of Swords that just came up? There was a lot of mental anguish and mental thoughts about something that's kind of causing us stress. It's causing us some sort of chaos. It's causing us to feel like, very, dysregulated. So whatever that is, whatever those thoughts are, Spirit is telling us to get grounded. Let's get grounded. Let's come back down to earth. Let's get out of our head space. Let's put our feet into the ground. Let's get back to living in the physical world. Let's focus more on people that are in our lives. Let's focus more on our physical, world, and be present with ourselves today instead of ruminating on the past or focusing or worrying about the future. Let's think about where we're at today and who we are today, and even who is in our world today, not thinking about people that are no longer with us. So whether that's actually physically or just, like somebody who's passed on, or somebody who is just no longer in your life, like an ex or old past friendships and things like that. You're going to be much happier when you're focusing more on the present instead of constantly living in yesterday or constantly living in tomorrow. What about today? So Spirit is saying that there needs to be some sort of focus here on today and where we're at with ourselves today. So Archangel Raphael is saying this will be good for your mind, body, and spirit, is to focus more on tangible things, focus more on the 3D world right now. It's okay to dream and it's okay to have fantasies, but it could be that if you're finding yourself being very confused or in a state of constant anxiety, that means that you're flying too high with no grounded, you know what I mean? Like with no cord grounding you to planet Earth. We do have the Three of Swords here. Wow. Great sadness. Time to heal. The need to forgive yourself or others. So Spirit is basically saying that the Three of Swords is a heartbreaking situation. It's something that we're sad about, and we're being called upon to heal this energy now, not later, but now. Let's do the work now. Let's focus on our healing today. So that way our yesterdays and our tomorrows don't rule, our lives. We're able to enjoy the present moment. And so we can create new beginnings, new opportunities, and change our lives for the better. That's the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is full of life and excitement. You know, you feel inspired, you feel alive. And I just feel like a lot of you, if you're resonating with these messages, might just kind of feel half alive. You don't feel fully alive. And Archangel Raphael is saying this needs to be healed. So whatever's holding you back, whatever sadness or maybe unforgiveness or just turmoil is holding you back, it's about, you know, getting back into your physical body. And a great way to do that is, you know, to go out into nature and to connect with all of your senses, you know, and really take the time to go through all of those senses by feeling things, smelling things, listening for things, seeing things. You know, that's really a great grounding technique. You're in the present moment when you're experiencing all of those things. And so you might need to get outdoors more, or spend some more time like with yourself, taking care of yourself. And this will really start to get you into that mind frame of not focusing on things that you can't control, and being more aware of, you know, just the present and how precious it really is. Oh, that's beautiful. The Nine of Earth, Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles to me is one of those cards of self-improvement. It is like improving your physical health, improving your physical body, and just feeling really good from the inside out. So some of you guys might have been very focused on the outside. If I was thinner, or if I had more money, or if I had nicer things, then I would feel better, then I would be happier. And sometimes we find that even when we have those things, we're still not happy. So it might be an indication that we really need to do the work on the inside. So that way we can feel good from the inside out. And this does say your mind, body, and spirit. So all three of these things need to be, worked upon. It's not enough to feel good on the outside. We've got to start doing the work on the inside. We've got to start feeling good on our own. We got to start putting ourselves first and making ourselves a priority. So that's what Archangel Raphael's message is for us, is to really, really start focusing on a program that nourishes the self. This is very, very important. And when you do this, you're going to start to realize how much your sadness and your depression and your need to be in a constant state of anxiety starts to fade away. The more that you're going to be grounded here and touch back down with earth and yourself, the more inspired you're going to become to create new things for yourself instead of dwelling on the past, right? So that's a really beautiful thing. All right, you guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on now into Archangel Gabriel. So Archangel Gabriel's message is authentic communication. Archangel Gabriel is urging you to speak your truth. So if some of you guys feel like you have something to say, but yet you're not saying it, or it's something that you're afraid to face right now because it's too painful, or there's something that you really want to do in this life, but yet you feel afraid, this is the message from Archangel Gabriel about that. This one just flew out. We have helping children. Wow. Okay, so some of you guys are getting a message right now in regards to your own children if you have them. But this can also be about donating your time. So if some of you guys feel called to donate your time or to help people or be of service in a certain way, or that there's something going on right now where you need to dedicate more time or something to your children, or maybe even your inner child, there's a message about this. You're the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is a card of regret. And I can relate to this. I remember when my daughter was younger. I mean, we have a great relationship now. And it's not that we had a bad relationship, but I just was a young mother. I got pregnant at 17. And when I was 18, I didn't know who the fuck I was. I was still trying to find myself, trying to, raise a child. The father was never involved in that situation. And it was really tough, and I made a lot of selfish decisions, and a lot of poor choices, and some of those choices did unfortunately affect my daughter in a negative way, and I can't take those things back. And of course, there were many years where I was just raking myself over the coals. I should have done this, I should have done that. And so a lot of those feelings of guilt and shame can be good because it helps us to learn. It helps us not to want to repeat those same things. But it also doesn't do any good for us to stay stuck and hung up on what we didn't do. Let's focus on what we do still have, So I can sit there all day long and just want to just die over the fact that I didn't enjoy my daughter's childhood as much as I could, or that I missed out on some of those years of her life, because of my own selfish choices. Or I can focus on what her and I have today. So I think that's an interesting message here. We don't want to focus on the negative too much. Maybe we're not happy with the way that things have turned out. Maybe some of you guys aren't happy with the way that your own children have turned out. And so there could be something where we need to, there's like a message about that. But I feel like what this is more than anything is that it's not too late. Maybe you guys feel like there's something that you should have done earlier. You should have done something when maybe you were younger, or that, when you had more time or youth on your side or something. You should have done this, you should have done that. But Spirit is basically saying that it's never too late to do something now. If some of you guys want to go back to school, maybe you can. If some of you guys want to do something where you're making an impact on someone's life, especially youth, or do something that you've always wanted to do even from youth, you can do anything that you set your mind to. So that seems to be the message here, is that it's not too late. Don't live in a state of regret. Don't let the opportunity pass you by just because you didn't do it before. Why don't you do it today? Why don't you do it now? Why don't you start it now? Interesting. We have strengths energy. So it's it's stronger, right? It's stronger to forgive than not to forgive. It takes more strength and courage to face your shadow and to look at it, but then be able to forgive yourself and even other people than it is to be in a state of rage and be pissed and bitter and not forgive people. And that can sometimes feel false. That can sometimes feel like, are you freaking kidding me? And it doesn't mean just because you forgive someone means that, oh yeah, I'm totally fine with you now, you can be in my life. No, actually quite the opposite. It's stronger sometimes out of unconditional love, to have that kind of unconditional love, to know that, it's like you love someone enough to know that you can't be in each other's lives. Like that, there's a real true deep strength in that, in knowing, because you don't have any conditions in the sense that you need to have someone in your life. No, it's unconditional. Like, I love you enough to where I'm willing to let you go because I'm not good for you or you're not good for me. And we know that to be in each other's lives just wouldn't be good. So that's just an example of strength. It just means that it takes great strength to admit your flaws, but then also to be able to forgive yourself for your flaws. That's the message. So, whatever you guys wanted to do before, or whatever you guys feel is standing in the way of you doing what you want to authentically do, Spirit's saying it's time for you to drop a burden. It's time for you to drop some kind of a load, something that's weighing you down. And I feel like it is emotional, and it's something that Spirit's saying it's time for you to just to recognize, like, you're that king energy of the lion, that you can do something, that you absolutely can do something. Some of you guys might actually have issues with your parents or your children, and there's a lot of emotional turmoil here, and maybe we're not speaking to them, or we haven't forgiven them, or we haven't worked on something. And it could be even a generational thing. It could be working on a relationship with a parent or a child, and it actually ends up helping a lot of other people to heal. I have no idea what that is. This could even be the one person. If it's a parent that passed over, it's forgiving that parent, even though they're gone. You're doing some sort of energetic work where You're forgiving this person for hurting you or not being there for you. Because I do feel like it is interesting that Spirit used my situation with my daughter. My daughter didn't have to forgive me for some of the shit that went down. You know, she could have remained in that victim mode and said, you know, this wouldn't have happened to me if my mom would have been a decent person, right? If she would have just been a good mom. You know, she could have held on to that bitterness and never forgiven me for, you know, just being, not that this is an excuse, but just being a child myself. But she chose to, it took great strength on her part to forgive me. That's my point. And I feel like Spirit is using my example because there could be somebody out there that's going through something similar. So there's a message about maybe having this, speaking your truth, or Archangel Gabriel urging you to speak to someone or to clear something up, because there's still something here. Two of Cups here, and this guy has his back to it, so he's not seeing that there's still something here. There's still something maybe that can be saved. Everything happens for a reason. Look for the hidden blessings. That's what it says. Wow, now we have the Eight of Cups again. So this is a repeat card in this reading. We had the Eight of Cups that came up with Archangel Michael, and now we have the Eight of Cups that's coming at the very end of this reading. The need to move on, seeking more from life than what you're experiencing, a spiritual request, choosing to make a big life change, a change in priorities. That's very interesting because this is the card that came up with Archangel Michael, priorities, and leaving home. Wow. Some of your kids, if you have kids, might want to leave home, or they don't want to live the life that you want them to live. And I'm going to use, again, my situation with my daughter. You know, my daughter is a lesbian. She came out when she was 15 years old. And, you know, I don't have any issues with it. I really didn't think anything of it. But the fact that she wants to have children right now, it's not saying she can't have children. I mean, there's obviously ways to do it, but it's more of a challenge. And so, of course, you know, I had to go through that thinking of, oh my gosh, if she was straight, then this wouldn't be a problem. It's, you know, and then of course, her and I had the conversation, which is, you know, there's issues on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if she was straight and she was with some, maybe she couldn't get pregnant. So it's just funny that her and I had that conversation. But I think that, you know, sometimes with just people's choices and who they are, you know, there seems to sometimes be, you know, a challenge with some things where we're just kind of like, you know, maybe we do take issue, or maybe there's just, you know, things that we think. And I just feel like sometimes, you know, our children are who they are. My daughter, she's also just, she's not really like this girly girl, you know, and I'm like super, super girly. I'm all about makeup and all this other stuff. And like, we never were able to have that type of dress up or fun when we were younger, you know what I mean? And so it's always been one of those things where I'm just like, I just wish I could just dress you up, you know? She's not having it, by the way, still ain't having it, even though she's going to be 29 this year. She ain't having it. But anyways, that it's just, there's a message here, I feel, that has something to do with just accepting people for who they are, even if it doesn't 100% line up with what you deem is easy or, you know, fit or whatever. And it's just loving people anyways. And so whatever differences we're experiencing, whether it's political views, religious views, or whatever. I also have a lot of contrast with my own mother with religious views too. And it's just loving people anyways, and figuring out what kind of life you want to live while you're here, what kind of energy you want to be in, what kind of energy you want to reside in, because, you know, life isn't forever. And it's just about feeling good at the end of the day, you know, with where you're at with everybody in your life, and making sure that, you know, maybe you've said everything that you've wanted to say and that you don't have regrets, because that Five of Cups card is all about regret. So whatever it is that you guys are holding on to, whatever it is that you guys are either afraid of or saying or living a certain way, Spirit's saying life is too fucking short. That's pretty much the message. So I'm going to leave it there. Anyways, you guys, I really hope that you enjoyed these messages and that they were helpful to you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.